I rolled back in my chair to grab something.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled over my, not my mic cable, but my headphone cable. It came unplugged.
Yeah.
I thought I plugged it back in. I did not. Like, it was there, but I didn't give it the extra oomph.
See, really and you're smart because you're doing this on Zoom, which, like, when you're, it doesn't, like, Zoom is fine. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Is it gonna ever be the greatest end product? No, there's other things out there. And I used one of those for a few years. One was called Zencastr.
Oh.
Well, let me tell you, Zencastr, when it works, because it does that thing where it like records on both of your computers and it's live uploading to a single, and then you download it. It's all crystal clear and the audio is great. When it worked, it was great. But it also did this thing where it would just randomly decide that it didn't like your microphone. And it would not, there would be no warning. No warning. There's no anything. It's just you're listening, and then suddenly it sounds like you are down a hall. I had to tell poor David Archuleta, I'm so sorry, David.
Oh no,
Mr. Chiletta. Could we pretty please re-record our interview, which sucked because I made him cry real bad because we were talking about his coming out story.
Oh no.
And he was like, nobody's ever gotten it. Like, you've gotten it. And like all this stuff. Like, I lost all that. Like, he was sobbing. Like, it was great. And that is not, so we had to redo the interview, and he was prepared for me this time. So it was a much better audio quality, but the original is lost because it was just, I sounded like I was talking to him down a hallway through a wall into a pillow. It was so bad, and I was so embarrassed.
So not old-time radio, but like that hole in the styrofoam cup across the... What?
Yeah. It was a string. It was a string. It was a wire. It was bad. It was rough.
I've had that. Not under the same circumstances, but I have had instances that were very like, okay, I got this awesome, once in a lifetime thing that now, okay, I guess, by software or hardware, I was screwed. And
I used to record my show on a Blue Yeti microphone, and then I did an interview with Tawny Plattis, and she roasted me on my own show too.
Wait, no, she
roasted.
No,
she cooked me, served me up, filleted me, and I, not even kidding you, the next day went and bought a new microphone. Shame works on me. I wish shame worked on other people, but shame definitely works on me. She was like, I was like, well, I use this Blue Yeti. She's like, I was like, I use this Blue Yeti and I've used it for like 10 years. She's like, I know, I can tell. I was like,
wow. Okay.
He's like, okay.
So
never mind.
So we're fighting now, is what you're saying. We're fighting. I have to like, at that point I have to defend my honor. I have to defend it's pistols at dawn, and I defend my honor. I'll just say this. I feel your pain. Because it's not a Blerd Without Fear live stream if something doesn't go astray at some point. But you know what? We're not gonna have any more of that because I'm a professional.
Yep.
You're a professional.
We're such great professionals here. I'm so excited.
I'm such a professional that I'm gonna pretend that I did not have a whole
I'll let you live in that. I'll let you live in that delusion. I'm here for it. I'm pro delusion. My whole career is just hubris and spite. The only reason anybody knows who I am is just hubris and spite. Though I will say, as a mediocre white man, that is kind of built in, baked in. I am exact. Yep. Yeah.
Well, see, honestly, I think you're cool. I think you're a cool white man. So I'm not.
Shucks.
I'm not gonna give you. I'm not gonna hand you that
parade. You can come to the parade.
Look, I just, honestly, I don't even want to be on a float. I just want to be able to say I was there. I could be like, like when someone calls back to it, like, oh, hey, do you remember that one? Yeah, the one. Yeah, I was there. I was there. Yeah. Not a big deal. I know people. That's all I want to be able to say.
I'm trying to figure out what's behind you. I just got my husband into. We just binged Freerin, and he was like, literally, he was texting me today. He's like, what are we gonna watch now that we're done? And I was like, because he did not get into anime until just a few years ago. But he was watching. I had Yuri on Ice on, and he was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "He's like, what is this?" And I was like, "It's Yuri on Ice. Gay ice skaters, but we're not allowed to say they're gay. But they get engaged, but they're not engaged because of laws.
They're totally gay.
They just wear rings and go to a church, And he's like, wait, go back. I want to watch this. And that got him into. And now we're all the way down to when's the next season of Solo Leveling coming out?
See, it's
so appreciative.
It's like heroin. Yeah, once you get that first hit, it's over. I'm at a stage.
What was your
now.
first anime? Are you? Yeah.
I'm old enough that I'm boring.
Dragon Ball Z. Pokemon.
It was Akira.
Okay.
But that for me
appreciation.
So
appreciation. You come by it honestly.
Oh, 100%. And it's more of a usually people that are around my age, that was always the answer. What was your first anime? Oh, Akira. It was either Akira or Vampire Hunter D. Though it was either one of those two.
I never saw that one. See, I'm bad when it comes to late 80s, early 90s. I've seen some, but I haven't seen all. My real reintroduction into the world was Full Metal Alchemist. And then I got real deep into it, loved it. Then I had to rewatch it as Brotherhood.
Okay, yes. Brotherhood is the superior show.
Yeah, which does have the superior ending. Yeah, it does. Normally you have that recency bias where you're like, no, this first thing, I love this first, or anchoring bias, where the first thing you come across, you overly rely on it. Brotherhood's better. And then from there, it was just everything, just absolutely everything. Yeah.
The only thing I go back to vanilla Full Metal Alchemist for is the Ready Steady Go intro.
We call it vanilla.
It's vanilla now. It's vanilla. It's full vanilla alchemist now. It's you can't
vanilla alchemist.
Or we can call it classic. But it's just once I saw Brotherhood, I was ruined.
Oh yeah.
There was no going back. I don't even the Ready Steady Go intro. I don't even really like going back to that anymore because I'm like, oh man, you used to be beautiful.
Man, you know what has such a good intro is that Alchemist, the Alchemist Diaries. That is such a killer intro. I love that music.
That's the beauty.
Don't you dare! No, I was about to. I thought you were about to besmirch.
No.
I thought there was some besmirching about to happen.
No. I'm a very
my
for a guy
husband's also into that one too.
Oh,
yes, yeah. He loves historical dramas and twinks.
Well, see, then you kind of get the best of both worlds. So for me, I just recently kind of started getting.
How is that man straight? How? I'm so sorry.
No,
I have so many questions.
There's a lot.
How is that man? What?
There's
what and why?
No real good reason.
That girl is ace and he is gay. That is what I. Yeah.
It's kind of.
I have so many opinions about those.
Okay, so anime is a weird one. And
I get where it comes from and the laws that yeah.
I recently had a conversation with I say recent. It wasn't really that recent, but it's recent in my head. I had recently had a conversation with Steve Orlando about this because he was writing a comic for Gotcha Man. And it was gonna be about the villain of the anime, Bird Katse. And I remember like asking him about this because I was like, is it not true that anime has this history of having LGBTQIA plus characters, but never actually wanting to identify them as such? Because like if you watch Gotcha Man, Berg is pretty much like gender fluid. Like like even to a point where I think later down the road, the pronouns they them kind of start coming into play, because one minute Berg is just as easily this guy in a really fabulous mask and cloak and very well dressed and wearing all kinds of makeup, looking like he is literally about to walk out on RuPaul's Drag Race. And then the next second, like, oh my God, wait a minute. He's turned into a female. Like, he's masquerading as a female character. And I don't mean like, oh, this is like a guy who put on some makeup and a dress.
Yeah, presentation has changed.
Yeah, like he didn't like shave. Like no, this guy like fully like he's no body hair.
Did
like,
one of those Sailor Moon? Wasn't there a Sailor season or one of those Sailors got where it was like the boys turned into the girl?
Yes. It's a like look between that Ranma and like the various and sundry different like types of characters I always used to say that for anime, like the more flamboyant and more fabulous a character was, to me the more badass they were, because like
usually
if I saw a guy in an anime come out and he had on like some really like glittery earrings, like he's got lipstick on, he's got eyeshadow, foundation, he's wearing like a blouse, right? Like he's got the blouse with the chest open. He's got his fingernails.
And to a certain extent, I feel like that's also present in what is it? Hunter, something, devil. Oh my God, demon
Slayer.
Yes,
Demon Slayer.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Jesus, I'm so sorry, audience. I apologize. Okay. Please don't roast me.
Look, if anyone's gonna get cooked, it'll probably be me, because there's gonna be people out there like that are gonna come for my neck later on. Like it always happens in the VOD. There's always like a wayward soul who like stumbles into
I tell you, man, this YouTube comment section is no joke. It is unhinged.
It is.
It's beyond 4chan and 8chan. It's like 32chan down there in those YouTube comments.
32 over however many days. I just know that was actually all my favorite characters, all my favorite, and not even just in anime, but really in anything. Usually the more flamboyant characters, the characters had style and like carried themselves with like this air of like confidence, but also had like this, just this kind of vibe to them that let you know that they didn't give a shit like what anyone thought of them. Like, it was like, no, I wear whatever the hell I want. I walk how I walk. I talk how I walk, how I talk, and I carry myself whichever way. It doesn't matter. I always thought those characters were like cool as shit, because I was like, dude, I was like, go. I said, go off. I don't care. Beat his ass. Beat everybody down. Like if it's a fight anime, beat everyone down.
That was always me watching X-Men with like all the girls, like Jean Grey, like Emma Frost. I wanted all that. Oh yeah, I wanted all that all the time.
It was like that to me. That was like the original like Yas Queen. Like when you see like you watch like any of that like stuff, you see those characters like, oh dude, man, it's a franchise that, well, yeah, I know like one of the most popular characters is male. Look, let's be real. The best characters in X-Men are usually the female characters. Yes. The thing about Marvel, like the thing about a lot of superheroes, I think we've kind of talked about this on social media back and forth some. But the thing about a lot of superheroes is that the women are usually much more powerful than the men. And the writers always punish them for being more powerful than the men. Jean Grey can't just be the most powerful X-Men on that lineup. She has to,
be burdened with the Dark Phoenix, and she has
Mm.
to, have to wrestle with the fact that she's killed billions of people. And, Scarlet Witch can't just like grow in her magic. She has to like kill millions of mutants. And,
Well,
they always do this. And that's why, not to like pivot, but
mhm,
that was why, when I wrote my book, I was like, no,
mhm.
no, no, I want my character to show up powerful. I want my character to
Yes.
show up already like a lot of coming of age stories. My book, Verity, Fox and the Curse of Foxfire.
By the way.
Verity. Oh, hey, you know what I got? I
Hi.
got the hardcover. I have one. I have exactly one
Oh
hardcover.
my God.
They sent me one. I'll get
That is
more later this
insane.
summer.
Okay, I
I
was about
know.
to say, I was
No,
like,
no, no. I
that's
get author
insane.
copies later, but like they were like literally like the box came in, I guess, and they like opened it up and sent me one. But they have to all get sent to stores and stuff. So
Right.
they threw me a bone. So I could go take pictures with it and do stuff like this on podcasts.
It's like,
But when Verity shows up, she's already strong. Like she's already strong. She's already
yes.
strong. She's already unapologetic. In fact, she's a little weirded out that nobody wants her help. She's like, wait, because she goes into this town that's like very wary of magic, and they have a good reason to be.
Right.
But she shows up and she's like, why don't you guys want me around? I can do pretty much whatever you guys want. Like I've got all these powers. Don't you want me around? And I'm like, no, actually, we do not. So her problem was never, being punished for being
Mhm,
powerful. She's always powerful. She's
mhm.
always aware of it. And she doesn't ever really like, a lot of superheroes have to like lose their powers and go through that journey of having to be a normal person for a while. She always has her powers. And I wanted to do something else with that. I hated when writers punished
Yeah.
especially female characters for being too powerful. I hated that.
It's not fair.
No.
Well, and also I think it's a it's a it's a lazy trope.
Yeah.
It's incredibly lazy. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that maybe someone out there has found a way to write that type of story and make it interesting, but it is not interesting to me.
I
I
agree.
like when I see some like in any protagonist, but especially a female protagonist, I don't want to see my female protagonist deconstructed and broken down in such a way was like, okay, well, what is she without these things? It's like, no, I mean, no, let her cook, let her do her thing. Like I
Yeah.
can imagine in my head what it would be like, and it's not fun. It doesn't sound fun. It's the it's the whole she is who she is. She stands in her truth, and even in the face of not being wanted or desired, like she doesn't shrink. She doesn't really shrink herself. Like she's like, no, I'm still a witch. Yeah,
Yeah, that
y'all
was one
might
of
not want
the
me here, but I'm still a witch.
that was I was just on a different podcast. We were talking about Buffy.
Mhm.
And that's kind of a through line there. We were talking about Buffy season 4 and how that whole season she's really like artificially making herself smaller up until
Mhm.
this kind of arc with the Watchers Council later on in the show towards the end where she's like, you guys want power, I am power, or whatever that speech is,
Yeah.
like, yes, Captain Marvel prototype, yes,
Yes.
we love to see you. um but like I think that it's a weird thing that we just keep punishing women specifically
Yeah.
for being too powerful. Like, baby, you made them powerful. You either
Well,
need to raise the stakes around, like, make the world more dangerous then.
it's
Raise
not
the power level of the enemies.
right. I don't think that the smart money is on like okay, there's only one instance maybe is if like if you're making like if you're telling a story where you're trying to get across a point of accepting yourself
Mhm.
and not shrinking from like who you were born to be. I'm almost willing to go with if you can pull it off. But the thing is, not very many people, I think, have the ability to pull it off. And I think it's just better, like, hey, let's, especially in senses of allegory where we're trying to use, like, a lot of Buffy, for instance, is, a
Mhm.
lot of it's, puberty and coming of age and a laundry list of other obscure teenage high school tropes, there's a very good reason why season 4 Buffy is probably one of my least favorite seasons.
That's mine too. I was trying to be so chill on the show because I was like, this is my least favorite season. And I had to be there. I was doing the season finale of that season, the one with all the dreams, and I was like, they were like at the very end, what would you rate this episode? And I was like a C-. I'm so I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sure I am the one who is wrong. I'm sorry. But also this season had Hush in it. So like
it's the only reason it gets the C.
like season 4 had Hush. You're not like if that's an A+, if we're going by the grading rubric, like this is not that.
No,
this is not that. So yeah,
it's bottom tier, and I think
they do it on Buffy with Willow too. When Willow gets too powerful, suddenly witchcraft is now an addiction. Suddenly her power is an addiction, and we have to make everything a don't do drugs, kids.
You're gonna turn
in the
evil.
late 90s. Yeah, Dark Willow, and I'm like, the fuck.
I'm not gonna lie.
Either just like raise the stakes, give them more powerful villains, or like, I don't know, make her power contingent on something. But like, she's just too powerful, so she has to be punished, and then she doesn't even really get a redemption until like the last 30 seconds of the final episode, and it's only through like implication.
Well,
we see her hair turn white, and we assume, oh, she's actualized. Oh, end credits. Show's over. Goodbye. Really? The whole time?
I just want to go on record saying that
Willow's fight with Glory is still one of my favorite moments from Buffy. When Willow floats into the season 5 should have been the end, and Buffy should have died, and we should have done a Doctor Who, and we should have gotten a new Slayer.
That should have been it.
Yep. She fights Glory. I love Glory. Glory's my favorite villain. She dives into the thing, goes to heaven. Whoever the next Slayer is gets awakened. I know it's back through the Faith line, and I already know all the technicalities. But blah blah blah. That's the end of Buffy. We do a new Slayer now. Whatever it is,
what you do.
That should have been the end. Like you can keep the cast. Dawn could still be there if you really desperately need Dawn. Like whatever, just move the cast, bring a new Slayer in. The cast can switch around. We've got new companions now. Great.
Look, I always say that. I know people say respect the dead. I don't believe in that. I'm going to say it. Michelle Trachtenberg deserved better. Dawn was awful.
She did.
And
Dawn was not. Dawn was a weird addition to the show. It was such a weird addition.
It was because unnecessary.
Season 4, apparently, now I don't know how much of this is true and how much of this is fan theory, but from what I understand, season 4 was supposed to be like Buffy enters the Slayerverse, and like all of these like former Slayers were supposed to enter. Again, I have no idea whether this is true. Nobody really knows if this. Nobody really knows if this is true. But like, there's lore floating around that first vampire she fights, Sunday, where she like really gets her butt kicked, was supposed to be a former Slayer turned vampire. And I was like, well, that would have been a much more interesting addition to the crew than like Spike and stuff. Like, make that be the honestly, here's all of my hot takes. Xander should have died in season 3. Xander should have died at graduation. Cordelia should have gone with the gang to college. I love that we finally set a show in college. Too many young kids don't get shows set in college. They only ever
get high school.
We have 30-year-olds playing sophomores. Like, come on. Xander should have died season 3. Cordelia should have been on the primary show because, again, nobody remembers Hercules. Everybody remembers Xena. Nobody cares about Angel. Everybody cares about Buffy. Cordelia should have been on the primary show. She should have gotten that character growth. I love the idea. Bring Riley in. Let him be comic relief. The initiative. That's a 2-episode arc. That is a 2-episode arc. Let Riley be your new comic relief. Sunday, Riley dates Buffy for a few episodes. She realizes she's making herself smaller than him. They go their separate ways. He starts dating Sunday. Now the joke is Riley's got a type. because we find out Sunday's a former Slayer turned vampire. Riley's got a type. He loves Slayers. There's your person vampire relationship. I hated her and Spike. I am so sorry. Not sorry whatsoever. That was toxic. That was awful. I hated Buffy and Spike. There's the vampire redemption arc right there. Let Sunday be the vampire redemption story. Anya dates Willow. Boom.
Done.
It's the show.
Like, honestly,
Cordelia is there and just makes everything better.
I think the show probably could have ran for another 6 or 7, maybe even 8 seasons if they'd have did that.
Like, no, we had to. It was Buffy was going to enter the Slayerverse, but instead somebody was like, "This show needs to appeal to boys more. What if we made all these GI Joes play with these Barbies? These Barbies are playing Vampire Slayer. What if we made GI Joes half the season? Why? Who needed that? Who was watching Buffy and thought, you know what we need is a paramilitary group that seems to just be rejected Abercrombie models, like."
I'm sorry.
Who wanted this?
I am I'm not claiming to be the king of the the straight cishet males. I'm not claiming to be the pope of the straight cishet males, but I was watching Buffy long before they introduced the initiative, and honestly, when the initiative came in, I was like, okay, like I was the LeBron James meme. I was all right, let me get my shit. Okay, all right, I'm getting out of here. I'll see y'all later. That was me when the initiative came, because I was just like,
it's bad.
I was like,
you could do it, but it's a 2-episode arc. That's a 2-episode arc.
Joe and my Buffy.
Right? Well, nobody wanted that. Nobody cared.
Well, I can tell you something that I know for a fact that, especially in this day and age, nobody wants is to give money to fucked up problematic people.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Joss Whedon is not involved in the new season. He has no rights over it. Like, they were all sold, I think. He didn't get any part of it. Love it. I'm so happy about that. And I'm so happy about that.
I'm gonna take the win on that one. But I really hope that, I just hope that anything going forward, we just try to be better. Yeah. We just try to be better. Yeah. But I will say this for I don't want to I guess bury the lead here. But
I'm here to talk about a book. Sorry. Hi. We spent 30 minutes.
This is why I was really excited. Because I always like it.
I wrote a book.
When it's just a conversation.
Buy it. If you don't buy it, my puppy doesn't get puppy food and can't go to puppy school. So I have this puppy. You see?
We can't have that.
Please buy my book. Well, I'm so good at book promotion. Please buy my book. Please buy my book.
Well,
do you hate gay people? Buy my book so I go away. Buy my book so I'm never. Buy so many of my books that I'm like Enya and I go buy one of those castles
and just disappear.
I will disappear, man. You hate gay people? I will vanish. You buy so many of my books, I'll go buy a little castle. I will vanish. You love gay people? Buy my book. You don't buy my book? You don't buy my book at all, you're homophobic. That's
there you go.
All I'm telling you.
That is my child's response to everything now.
Yeah.
If we're like, if we're not doing this, well, then y'all are homophobic. And I'm like, wait a minute, no,
yes.
We're doing
Especially in June. Especially in June. I'm sorry, it's cold. I'm wearing a sweatshirt in June. That is homophobic.
Yeah,
that is homophobia.
It's very much we don't do that here. We don't. Look, this is it's kind of hilarious to me that I'm like, you know what? I'm here for it. Like everything. Like, hey, we're going to the pool tomorrow. Oh, it's gonna rain.
No,
that's homophobic.
Homophobic.
I guess So.
Homophobic.
It's well, if no one else, if no one else has said it before, I'm gonna say it. I think that if you are the type of person that you want to read a certain story. You want to read a certain story. You want to read a book that is about a younger person able to wield magic, and within the framework of a story that is not based on like within the framework of something that's not based on like, I don't know, racist stereotypes or all kinds of crazy problematic stuff. Yeah, I think if you want to get away from stuff like that, you should check this book out, because
Well, thank you.
It's really fun.
I like to say that it's like, what if Kiki's Delivery Service had happened in the world of Old Gods of Appalachia?
That's so okay. That was kind of the vibes
and I've been
I was
saying
getting.
that so much that the guys from Old Gods of Appalachia contacted me, and now I'm going to their show later this month. We're like friends now. It's great. This world is bizarre. This world is so small. I have been listening to that show for years.
Well, okay, first off, A, that's awesome. that's freaking amazing. But B, like, yeah, now as you say it like that, like, I was already kind of getting like like a little bit of the Kiki's vibes.
Sure. And that, like, I don't want to run away from that.
Yeah.
Absolutely an influence, especially because, like, in chapter 1, she, like, leaves her time at a bakery. I one of the questions that kind of sat around in my brain for many years was, one, Kiki doesn't ever really show off any magic of her own. Like, she doesn't seem to be able to do anything other than fly. So I was like, I wonder what happens, like, when she grows up. Like, we see her mom do spells, and like, what happens next? Where does she go next? Like, does she go town to town and, yada, yada, yada. And that's kind of how the framework for the book fell into place. But it wasn't the first thing about the book that inspired it. The first thing that inspired the story of the book was real world history. The bridge collapse in Vulcan, West Virginia. Do you know about this? Nobody knows about it. Do you know about this?
I don't know. I don't. That's why, like, I was very curious to kind of get your insight on it, because, like, I could tell that, like, okay, reading it, I could tell that there were instances of it that were based on, like, some kind of something correlating to our history, but everything. Like, I didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah. So there's this town called Vulcan, West Virginia. It's a coal mining town, and if you know anything about coal mining communities, they were built up in these extremely rural areas of Appalachia. Company comes in, puts a little town there. It's basically just there for the people that work in the mine, to live someplace. Well, Vulcan was pretty unique in that the entire town existed across a river set into a mountain. The town is actually still there. It was only a few hundred people.
Okay.
But the unique thing about Vulcan was the only way into or out of the town was this bridge. And it was what's called a swinging bridge. If you don't know what that is, if you've ever seen an Indiana Jones movie, it's one of those wood and rope bridges that they're always cutting, right after him.
Yeah, just cut it, and everybody except for the hero dies.
So anytime like kids in that town, anytime kids in Vulcan needed to go to school, they had to walk up this path and go across this rickety swinging bridge, over some train tracks, and then down into the next town. If you wanted food, if you wanted like anything at all, if anybody in the town of Vulcan wanted it, they had to walk up this winding path, go across this rickety bridge. Well, eventually the mine ran out of coal. And what happens whenever these coal companies run out of, reasons to be there? They leave. And they don't really care that whenever they leave, that's taking everybody's income with them. Not only that, that also means there's no longer anybody to upkeep stuff like roads and bridges. So the bridge rotted. Wow. And one day it gave out. So these people are now like trapped in their town. So the town of Vulcan was this like unincorporated township, right? There's no formal government or anything like that. So this guy, his name's John Robinette, raises his hand and he says, you know what? I've decided I'm going to be the mayor. Somebody needs to advocate for us. I'm the mayor now. So they call up the state of West Virginia and they say, hey, funny story. We are trapped in our town in the mountain with no way in or out. Could you guys like help us? And the state of West Virginia was like, you know what? We are so sorry to hear that, bestie. We just checked the couch cushions. There is sadly, unfortunately, because we are one of the poorest states in the country, no bridge money for you. Do apologize. Wish you best love and light to you.
Best I could do is thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and tariffs, babes. So they call up the federal government. And they were like, "Hey, this is crazy. This sounds so crazy. We are trapped in our town and have been for years. Could you help us build a bridge so we could like leave?" And the federal government was like, I am so sorry to hear that. Honest to God, thoughts and prayers, love and light. We did check the couch. It is the same couch. It still has no money in it. I am so sorry for you. So the town of Vulcan, West Virginia decided to make a deal with the devil. And they contacted the Russian government. And they sent a letter to Moscow. And they said, hey, I think you guys might want to get one over on the US on their own soil. Wow. Might you, oh Kremlin, might you wish to please rebuild our bridge? And at first, I don't know if they thought it was a joke. Nobody paid it any mind. But there was a journalist working in Moscow that heard about all of this and decided to do a little digging and wrote a story, and it got a little bit of attention. And so Moscow decided, you know what? We are going to send somebody over there. So they sent an envoy over to West Virginia, like the middle of nowhere is Vulcan. God. Gets there. They look around and they're like, wait, all you want is for us to build we will. Wait, so you all are US citizens. Your state and your federal government told you all basically to get fucked. You all have been trapped in your town for how long now? Years? Yeah, we'll build your bridge. This is going to be great PR for us because we get to get one over on the US government on their own turf because they are not taking care of their own citizens. Within 1 hour of the Russian government agreeing to rebuild the bridge, they got a call. I believe it was from the West Virginia state government. And they said, oh my God, guys, you are never going to believe what happened. We rechecked that same couch for a thrice. We have now checked this couch. Guess what we found? We found bridge money. Tell the Ruskies to get lost. We shall build your bridge. They did end up rebuilding the bridge. I want you to tell me when you think all of this happened.
Oh my God. Oh, you know what?
This sounds like some shit they called.
Yeah, I'm thinking this had to be in the 80s, right?
You are the closest ever, because everybody's like, well, this sounds like a long ago thing, like 1800s or something. It happened in the mid 70s.
What?
Yeah, it happened in the 70s. The bridge was out for like 4 years, I want to say, and it reopened in 1980.
So wait a minute. So no bridge money.
No bridge money.
No bridge fund.
Nope. Until suddenly.
Until
suddenly Russia was like, we've got many piggy banks for bridge money. How many piggy banks would you like for the bridge money? I will tell you that in my book, the deal with the devil is a little bit more literal.
Okay. Yeah.
They do end up having to make a deal, many deals actually, with a devil. It's not great. So it is quite detrimental to many people's health and life and livelihood. Oh, no. And it gets real dark real quick. But it's also upbeat, and there's a witch and a familiar Jack who changes shape, and it's super great. And she sings all of her spells, and she uses hymns and folk songs and nursery rhymes, and the bad guy uses Bible verses because this is a book for kids that got on the wrong end of scripture but the right end of choir. So Yeah. Also, using Bible verses is very much like Appalachian folk magic thing. Like a lot of
Yeah.
this. So people are very used to reading fantasy novels, either set in some sort of like proto-European, like an European allegory.
Yeah.
This is not set in Europe. This is absolutely set in West Virginia. This is West by God, Virginia. This is, mountains. This is, dirt. This is coal mining
Mhm.
country. This is where my family's from, and almost all, except for most of the main,
I must say,
Verity, Tacita, Gilly, are unique names to the world.
mm,
Everybody else in the novel is named after somebody in my family tree that lived in the area that the story is set. So my
wow.
family has been from goes all the way back to the 1700s when Moses Hazlitt came over from Ireland. So came
Oh,
over through North Carolina, and then his kids came up to West
bruh.
Virginia. Yeah, yeah. So
That's awesome.
everyone in the whole story is named, like the May Miller's barn is down the street from my uncle's house, and the place where Tacita is found is out by where my great grandmother used to live. There's every setting, everything is drawn in some way from either my life, my childhood, my family tree, or real world history.
Well, you did a well. For one, let's go ahead and say this: you did a fantastic job of like framing it because yeah, going into it, yeah, I knew that a lot of this was going to
Oh, did you
draw.
read it? Oh
Oh
God, I do
yeah,
so
yeah.
many of these and people don't read them. So I didn't. I wanted to I
No.
wanted to heavily describe it so that you could feel informed to talk about it, just in case you hadn't read it. Because I do so many of these. I also understand what it's like
Yeah,
to get a lot of books
yeah.
and be like, I loved it so much. All
I
three chapters that I was able to read since your agent sent it to me last night. So,
well, I always tell people like I wish sometimes I do wish because of how many books I do get sent that I did have like an assistant that could be like, hey, can you read this and like come back and tell me what it was so I can talk about it intelligently. But I don't like doing that because I like to read it
no,
myself. Like I
no.
read most of it, and I loved it. Like I just
Oh,
I
thank
get
you.
I get bogged down and uh like I read more than probably like it's not to say I think everyone I don't think there's any such thing as reading too much, but I read so much that like I get shit mixed up sometimes.
No, I get that. I get that.
So, but no, I
I'll finish
really
the book
enjoyed it.
last night. You asked me about it this morning. That's not my business.
It's like what
What's in that book? What's in that book that I read for the last 3 weeks, that I read every
yeah.
single day, that I have been raving to all of my friends and family about? What's, hey, Don, hey, didn't you just read this book? Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
really loved it. What's it about? I don't know. Why are you at? Are you a cop? Why are you asking me that? Why would you ask? That's very personal, actually.
Like,
Thank you.
makes you want to grab
Honest to
them,
God,
be like,
sometimes there have
no.
been very few people that have read this book so far. There have been parts of this book quoted back to me. This is my fourth book. My fifth book comes out in November. I have people quote my own books back to me. I'm like, well, they won't tell me that it's a quote from it. Like they'll just like they'll like I don't know, I'll be tagged in something. I'll see a line and I'm like, that's really good. And they're like, man, yeah, you wrote it. I'm like, oh, I'm a dick now. I'm so sorry.
I was testing you. I was
Did
testing you.
not did not know that I wrote that. I am so sorry. Like I'm also a poet. I've had two collections of poetry, and somebody will like put a couple lines, and I'm like, that's really good. That's
Well,
really good. And I'm like, oh God, that's me. Oh no.
well, I honestly, I get it because I feel like if you do a lot of creative work, um, and like you said, this isn't like the first thing you've ever written. You've written
No.
books before,
Yeah.
and
And
you
also books take years to come out. And like
right,
the problem is that in the developmental process, there will be set pieces that get kind of like moved around the book, and like events will happen in a different order
Mhm.
because, oh, there's too much happening in the middle. We need to spread some of this out and yada, yada, yada. So like
right,
where we meet Tacita ends up getting pushed up into the book. And in the original draft, it
okay,
happened later. And some things happened with Tacita that originally happened with Gilly, and some things happened with Gilly that, anyways,
Yeah.
yada yada yada. And I'm like, people will say stuff to me, and I'm like, I genuinely don't remember what made it into the final book. I don't remember, so I'm going to be very excited to reread this myself.
Let me ask you this, because it makes me curious, because to my understanding,
I do know what's in my book. I
no,
promise I know what's in my book.
No,
But
like,
there are like tiny details. I was like reading something where, because there's parts that were like the very last couple of scenes to be written. Those I'm like, I don't know who wrote that. That's not my business. I don't know where that came. I don't know who did that.
Correct. I want to say this comes because I just want to get the timeline really.
Yes.
So this is going to be coming out August 5th.
August 5th. Yep.
So how long did it take from concept to like actually like how
you
long
might
did it
appreciate this? So Verity Vox started as a short story. So I have a podcast as well, and every October I write a short story and do like a whole audio production around it. So Verity Vox was a full cast audio production. I got Jax the Bard to play Verity, and she sang all of the songs. I had an actress for Tacita. I had an actor for Earl. I was the narrator. We had my friend played Gilly. So all of that. The short story ended up being mostly like the nuts and bolts of the end of the book, because it's a short story. So it's the end, the big climactic conclusion. So we did that, but I knew as I was writing it, there's more. I knew the whole rest of the story. I was like, there is a there. Not to quote Willow. there's a there, and I was like, when I was done, I put it up. I just kind of wanted to see if anybody was even remotely interested in it. Mostly because up until that point, I had done nonfiction, I'd done and poetry. That's all I was really known for. And I was like, do I have it in me to do do I have the chops for it? So I gave it a go in 2023, and the first draft took me about 3 months. It's not a super long book. It's like 94,000 words or something like that. So that's not terribly long. Longer. No,
and it's a quick read. It flows really well. That like as I'm reading it, it's just kind of like, okay, like all right, boom, 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 page to page to page. It's I mean, and I mean, like I say, it's a fun read. I actually, full disclosure, I'm handing this over to my child. So
I am very excited to hear their review of it because it's for kids. So I'm very excited. Like, I'm so glad you liked it, but I have been way more excited to have like kids read this. I know a few other people that I've sent the book to, and their kid has already stolen it from them, and they haven't even gotten to read it yet. But like, my friend Chesko, the speech professor, his kiddo is like grabbed it, and his wife grabbed it, and like he's like, I have not had an opportunity to. Alex Harrow, do you know Alex, the author Alex Harrow? Starling House,
yes.
Once and Future Witches, yada yada. I sent it to Alex, and she's like, I didn't get to read it because my mother and then my grandmother both snapped it before me. She's like, but I just want you to know it's getting rave reviews from the elderly women in Eastern Kentucky. I was like, well, that's the demographic, so that's great.
It's like, well, you know what? We're killing it. We're killing it.
Killing it with children and the elderly. So I am
specifically in Kentucky. Specifically in Kentucky, but I mean, we're really nailing it. Well, you can also count. You can count myself amongst that number.
Well, thank you.
And generally speaking, if I want to like pique my kids' attention. Because not like I'm telling their business, it's pretty public knowledge by this point, but they've kind of recently been discovering their journey into learning that they're non-binary, and they've really kind of thrown themselves into like that. I want to learn more about the the rest of the LGBTQI plus community, and I want to like, oh, I want to learn more
I
about
think
this,
your
and I want to
kiddo's gonna
explore
like
that.
Tacita a lot. I think your kiddo's gonna like Tacita a lot.
That's what I told. So when, because just to kind of to really lay the cards bare, I took my kid to the comic store not very long ago. And it was like their first like legit trip to one in a while. And they couldn't find anything to pick up. So generally speaking, what I would just do is I would just be like, "Oh, well, you should check out this comic over here. It's Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy's a lesbian who's technically a bad guy, but also a good guy kind of at the same time, depending on who she's standing next to at the time."
Morally, like, what is that? Morally gray.
Yeah,
like we,
like,
you know,
morally...
she's got her what is that? In D&D alignment, she'd be, what is it, like
chaotic neutral?
Chaotic neutral, yeah. Chaotic neutrals, if maybe leaning chaotic good sometimes.
Yeah. It's just what side of the bed she wakes up at. Like, basically, if I want to pitch like any kind of a story, if there's any like on the fenceness from them, all I have to do is just be like, there's gay people. Or
have
like,
they watched She-Ra and the Princesses of Power?
Not yet, but that's on their list of stuff.
Gonna freak out. Gonna freak out.
Well, it's just it's a it's like I said, it's just one of those things. Like I never wanted to be one of those parents like, no, you're not allowed to look at any of the stuff. I don't want you to see anything. No, I was like, hey, look, yeah.
Oh,
it's knowledge.
I mean,
it's
a lot of parents out there that
yeah.
Try to teach their kids that the worst thing that they could do is like investigate themselves, like figure out who they are in this world. Like, I don't know, that's strange. I've got to contend with this body for the whole rest of whatever life I have. I feel like I should enjoy being in it.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of where we're at. We're like, you know what, we want you to be. To be forewarned.
And people go on journeys of self-discovery all the time, and sometimes come back closer to home, and sometimes they stay far away from home. And either way, it depends. We grow and we change and we discover all sorts of things about ourselves.
That's what I was like, you know what? I would rather you be a person who kind of is figuring it all out, like always asking questions, as opposed to the person who doesn't find out till like, they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and ends up regretting most of their life because they felt like they were never allowed to figure their shit out.
Right. Right.
So I was like, no. I was like, we're not gonna do that. I was like, you do you. But yeah, it just I was like, hey, I was like, yeah. Well, for one, I was like, hey, I was like, for one, I was like, the main character is she's a young lady. Yeah, there's another young lady. There's other young, peoples in it, and there's stuff, there's things, and I was like, Verity is really freaking cool. Like I was like, she's very self-assured, and she's just always like, just kind of
her
on her
problem
game.
Her problem is never her strength, and it's never her confidence.
Right.
I wanted her to be she's always confident, she's always self-assured, she's always powerful, she knows she's powerful. Her problem is that sometimes some things can't be solved with magic. She's contending with real world issues. We see that in one of the first scenes where she kind of starts using her abilities to fix some of the problems in the town, and in that scene with Mrs. Mason where she regrows the garden, and the narrator of the audiobook said that they had to stop recording the audiobook because they had to cry for a while. Because there's also, and some of the critics that have been very, very kind about the book and have said some very, very nice things about it, and they made me cry because I don't deal with praise well. Picked out that it's like, witches and monsters and cryptids, and there's snallygasters and hodags and all sorts of North American stuff, which is one of the things I was referencing
Mhm.
earlier. A lot of stuff happens in like a European setting most of the time, but I wanted to romanticize our own backyard.
Right.
We can have fantasy here. And there's all of that in this world, but it is against a backdrop contending with real world history where there's a whole lot of people that live in, flyover country where people get, written off and they go without. And there is a very serious conversation in the undertones about poverty and about sacrificing our bodies and our lives and our livelihoods so that our families can just survive just one more day. And we see that in I don't want to give too much away, but in one of the storylines that almost got cut, and I had to fight for it. So I had to write it really, really well because I was like, no, this is important to this book, and this is kind of the backbone of this book, and I need this to be in there. So I had to really make sure that I made my case for it. And then once I, you know, scaffolded it a little bit better and placed it correctly, it felt more earned when we get this big reveal. But yeah, I mean, there are real conversations there about
Mhm.
poverty and identity and finding yourself and small towns and small minds and all of that kind of thing. So, Verity's problem is never power and it's never confidence. It is stuff like anxiety and
Mhm.
dealing with a little bit of imposter syndrome
Mhm.
sometimes where it's just like wait, who am I if you don't want this magic from me? It isn't that
Right.
I'm not powerful enough. It's who am I that you guys don't want this from me. You want something else. Who am I without this for you? Um and I wanted I wanted a different hero for kids.
Well, I like Verity for that because I feel like I feel like especially considering what all she's capable of doing and like the uniqueness of her character, the fact that like her magic is through like her voice, her music, the way
Which is
that
also part of North American folk magic and goes
right.
actually back to Scottish folk magic as
Mhm.
well, where a lot of like Scottish folklore,
Mhm.
the deities and wizards and stuff would sing their
Mhm.
spells, which I thought was a really cool thing to add into it. And
It
I
makes it
can't wait
unique.
because yeah, I can't wait because a lot of folk magic is built around. We talk a little bit about the rest of her coven, which you don't meet in this book, but I do have big plans for a future book, future two books, where you do meet the coven, and so there's
Mhm.
magic done with knots and magic done with wax and water and magic done with certain kinds of stones and cards and but again it's not this big flashy wave a wand stuff that you see in
Right.
other things. I wanted it to be representative of the kinds of folk magic that you find in the hills and
Mhm.
hollers. So yeah, I was really excited to get to do that. And it was
Well,
fun kind of going back
yeah.
and researching all these songs and researching all these poems and researching all that and finding the little histories behind them and stuff and figuring out which ones to include.
Well, like it was so. But telling myself a little bit, and then there's something I want you to clarify for me.
Hmm.
Um, I love Lord of the Rings,
Okay.
but I usually skip the songs. But I did not skip the songs here.
Uh-huh.
I love like I like it was. I guess it's because like maybe it's because with Lord of the Rings it's like very old timey kind
Uh-huh.
of
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
old almost kind of up its own ass kind
Yep,
of
yep, yep, yep.
music. But like with this, I was actually excited for the moments when when Verity would sing and start like and always how like sometimes just depending on the situation, what would the song possibly be
Yeah.
to address the situation and also to touch on what you said earlier about magic not being able to fix everything. I think that's also a really awesome dynamic to have for such a character is that like Verity's powerful. Verity can do a lot of things, but yeah, there are some things that she can't fix.
Yeah,
There's some things
there
that
are
even magic.
bigger issues. There's
Yeah,
bigger problems. There's
yeah.
harder villains. There's more intricate, there's more intricate
Hmm.
webs to unweave
Hmm.
about some of this.
It's I don't know. It makes for a very cool character,
Thank you.
and what the situation is, that she's dealing with, the fact that, like, yeah, she just, yeah, okay, I got to go to this town. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but there's a problem to be fixed. I'm gonna go fix it. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll find out when I get there. But when I get there, it's getting fixed. And even if it's something that I can't fix, I'm gonna figure out a way to fix it.
Yeah.
I like that.
She's never met a problem she couldn't
Yeah,
fix.
I like
Yeah.
that attitude. And it's I don't know. It kind of reactivated that optimism and hopefulness that being an adult crushed out of me. Like the moment I had to start paying bills and and working a job, I was like, oh God, this has been crushed. I was like, oh, that's what this feels like. I was like,
Well,
that's what it
wasn't that
feels like to have
everybody
that
at
back.
17? I
Yeah.
mean, what don't I know? What more
I
do I
can
need to
do it.
know to exist in the world at 17? I know everything. I know all that I need to know. I can handle anything. I mean, I don't know that she necessarily enters into being hubristic
Mhm.
ever, but yeah, she's got a very strong sense of herself.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
that. And now I'm like, nope, I'm not going. I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna take that. Nope.
I've learned
I like
fear.
my lower back too much. I like my knees. I like them where they are.
Like, look, when I get up off the couch, my knees crack. So I'm not saving anybody. I'm
Yeah.
not saving the day. I'm not
Yeah.
saving. Hell, I'm not saving a street corner, let alone a whole town of people. So I thought that I don't know. I thought that was really refreshing. It's a really good type of hero for young people to have, and to maybe, I don't know, impart some I don't know, some wisdom, some character traits, some like idea of sense of self onto people. And I thought it was pretty damn awesome.
Well, I think too many kids feel, I don't know, kind of especially these days where it's like being smart isn't cool.
Mhm.
Being capable isn't cool for some reason. Like we have to feel cringe about everything we're
It
interested in. We
cycles.
have to, yeah. And
It
I'm just like,
cycles.
I don't know. I wanted a hero for kids where none of that was an issue, where we
Mhm.
are celebrating being smart, where we are celebrating being interested in things, where we are celebrating being capable, and still show that sometimes in order to overcome, you could be the smartest person in the room, you could be the most capable person in the room, but you still need other people. You still need to form those social bonds. You still need friends. You still need family. And she's got a good one. She's got a good little found family there in Foxfire.
And that's actually one of my other favorite parts, is that how she she becomes kind of, she goes from being like, oh, no, we don't know about you, to
Yeah.
people like, and it's all natural through her own pluck and charisma, and just desire to ensure that everyone around her knows that they can rely on her. Like it's all like kind of watching as she wins over people. Like, it's like, I don't know, it definitely was something that I was like, man, you know what? It's that type of hero that like, I always tell people, I like heroes who can inspire hope and change in other people, who can like that they're, yeah, you're there to fix a
She
problem,
inspires
but
Gilly to get on Jack with those freaking knitting
right,
needles.
right. She inspires happiness, and getting
God, I
people to
love that
do
moment.
stuff. Stop
Actually,
screwing around.
you want to see something?
Yeah. Oh yes, please,
I'm going to show you
please.
something.
Oh.
These are the knitting needles. These are These are my great grandmother, my granny's knitting needles. And
Wow.
this was the very last thing she cast onto them before she
Wow.
died. Um,
Oh.
so these, when I'm writing the book, these are the knitting needles that Gilly has. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is
Yeah.
so, dude, that
Yeah.
is
Isn't
awesome.
that great?
That is freaking awesome.
My May Miller is named after that particular relative. Her name was Lakey May, so it's May Miller.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I love how, yeah, like, and I think that's maybe that's what is, because each of the characters, like, yeah, when experiencing how they interact with Verity, throughout the book, like, yeah, you can kind of get that sense of, like, yeah, dude, these characters, they feel like, oh man, they're so cool. They're like people. I want to meet these people. I want to, get, not all of them. Maybe not one of them particularly, but
Is it Earl? Are you a little afraid of Earl?
yeah, Earl. I don't know. I feel like Earl. I don't know. I got questions, but no, but no, like it. But I feel like these are people like I could meet these people. Like, I feel like I could
Yeah,
bump into these people. I feel like if I were to, you know, thankfully be able to walk across a rope bridge, now that there's one again, you
yeah.
know, that's still, I'm not gonna lie,
There's
that's
still
what I'm gonna
there's a
take away
town of
from
people
this.
there, and still I mean, it's a nicer bridge now.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to. I'm doing. So the book launch is August 4th here in Naperville at Anderson's Books. Actually, shout out to them. They're doing a pre-order campaign where if you pre-order the book through them, you get a signed copy, but you also get the character art. You get a Tacita, a Verity, and a Jack character art. So
Okay.
if you pre-order through them, I've got all those links on my social media.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Which,
But
by the
yeah,
way, links in the description
yeah, all
for
the
for
links.
his social media.
Yay. Yay, links. We are professionals.
Look,
We are professionals.
I I know how to I know how to do like links and stuff. So I'm
But yeah,
somebody.
I've got the book launches, and then it's pub day the next day, and then that weekend I'm going to West Virginia to do an event at Book Tenders, just outside
Dude.
Huntington. So that's where my family's from. So I'm gonna try to hit Vulcan on the way and see if I can't go visit the bridge
I'm gonna
on the
need to,
way.
you're gonna need to post some pictures because
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna,
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna need to see that.
There's still people that live there. It's still this very tiny
That is
town,
just,
still this bridge. Isn't that wild?
that isn't, I'm sorry, that's insane to me. I
Yeah,
actually, like, I don't under I don't understand how a town gets
I know. And it was a
legally
real, it's a
forgotten
real,
about.
but that's the thing. Like, think how many towns. Okay,
That's just
so
one.
it's there's a lot of stories that are not my story to tell because I know who I am. But like, think about the number of people. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of people, and this is a very different level of we fucked up with people. But like, think about the number of people that learned about Black history from watching Watchmen. The thinking about the destruction of Black Wall Street and how that story went undiscovered until we put it in a
Oh yeah.
superhero show.
So it's funny you say that because so I think it's public knowledge for most people who regularly check in, but just in case, I'm just gonna reiterate. My wife is whole white woman. Was watching Watchmen with me, and when that part comes up, her face, and I want to just I want to use this as an example. This is the same woman who sat next to me watching 12 Years a Slave, did not
Mhm,
bat an eyelash because, I mean, for
mhm,
the most part, she was like, yep, terrible. She was like, yep, mm-hmm. She's like, yep, my ancestors are awful. But like watched that scene, that
mhm.
whole setup, and was just like the whole time she just kept like,
Yeah.
she's like, well, because that's what she was like. Yeah, she pulled out her phone. She was like, no, I gotta look this up. And I was like, yeah, and I was like, that was the thing. And I was like, that's not the only one.
Oh no.
I was like, that
There's
wasn't the
all
only one.
sorts, and some of those are kind of covered in Sinners as well with
Yeah,
Ryan Coogler.
yeah.
But there's a lot of untold histories or hidden histories or like places where our government has screwed. I mean, there's tons of stories that you could tell about the queer community and the AIDS epidemic in the 80s and 90s. And I
Man.
mean, just all of the people that we are willing to sacrifice for mainstream society's comfort. So as long as those people in those flyover states, as long as those people in those little communities that live way out where nobody else lives, as long as it's just those people and not me, I don't
Hmm.
really care at the end of the day. It almost feels like fiction. And
It's
sometimes those stories find their way back into public consciousness through
mhm.
stories like this, through stories like Watchmen. Again, I am not remotely saying that they're the same. Please do not make that connection. I
No,
am
no, no.
not saying that. I
But
am just saying that just
yeah.
like other stories, this is one that is, not a lot of people know
Mhm.
about. So,
But
yeah, and it
still,
yeah.
that's a shame because I don't know. I just feel like it's
We don't
just
take care of our own. And I just
it's
think
yeah.
that and I think, one of the reasons why Verity starts, she can do a lot of things with her magic, but one of the
Mhm.
things that she does the most is heals people and fixes broken things.
Mhm.
And I think that that just goes to show that there's just a lot of people that you could come in and you could wave a wand and you could do a spell and you could make all sorts of wonderful things happen. But what people really, really need in certain times of their lives
Mhm.
is they just need help. They need the broken things fixed.
Mhm.
They don't want a new thing. I just want my house. I want my
Right.
roof to stop leaking. I want to grow my own vegetables in my own garden. I want to be able to support myself, but I can't because that was taken from me. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to be able to give that back on the page in just some small way.
Well, I don't know. I won't say small. I think you did it in a pretty big way.
Well,
Uh,
thank you.
well, there was something that I didn't know. This was something that I had actually kind of stumbled upon you talking about before when you were talking about the audiobook. And when you were talking about
I
doing recording lines for it.
Yeah. Oh, I did part of
Mhm.
the audiobook. But I listen, I have had a lot of people ask me who's doing the audiobook. A lot of people have asked if I'm doing it, and I
Mhm.
was like, no. One, I need a singer. Two, I think it should be a different voice than mine. I did my last audiobook. I'm doing another audiobook from my closet here in a few weeks. Going back in the closet to do another audiobook for Simon Audio. Where did everybody go? My book about the loneliness epidemic. Yay,
Mhm.
nonfiction. But I was like, I haven't acted in years. I am not the right person for this.
Mhm.
But I haven't been able to tell anybody who's doing the audiobook because every time I even think about telling people, little red dots appear on my face. Because I kind of I we did it. We got a big one. We got a big one for the
Yeah.
audiobook. But I have been lobbying to reveal it for a while now, and they were going to make me wait at least another month. Like they wanted it to come out right before. But I did tell them, I was like, no, this guy today, this audience is the right audience. And I literally got the email like an hour before we started recording, and they said,
Yes.
okay, fine, you can do it. Um,
Ah.
So I'm gonna make your audience sweat a little bit. My favorite character. I've actually been listening to this person's voice since childhood with Carmen Sandiego.
Oh my
I
god,
didn't even
yes.
realize. Didn't even realize. I've been listening to this person's voice my whole life. This person's voice is in every media. Every
Yeah.
media. So much so that they have a Guinness World Record for it. Um, Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so much Disney. Been a Disney princess. I think a few times. So much Marvel. DC. I mean, everything.
Name a franchise, and I
It,
promise you.
all over it. Won awards for it. But my favorite comic book character is Jean Grey, and has been Jean Grey since I was a young gay. Way back in the, let's see, when was I born? 2014. No. So I have loved Jean Grey ever since the original X-Men came out. And I became obsessed with comics and have been reading them ever since. I have my Marvel encyclopedia there. I have all of my Jean Grey pops. I've got all of my biggest Jean Grey fan in the world. This person has played Jean Grey more than any other actress.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that.
Like at least 3 or 4 different times in media, and then more, I believe, in video games. Speaking of
Bruh.
video games, they've done a lot of video games.
Yes.
They've done a lot of video games, like so many video games.
I think, and just to keep it a buck, I'm gonna go on a limb and say I probably have played no less than at least 20 games in the last 10 years that I'm gonna say that they've been a part of in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And like that's on the low end. I'm going to the low end here.
You like Mortal Kombat? Been in Mortal Kombat. You like you
Yep.
like Star Wars? Knights of the Old Republic. Been in Knights
Been
of
in
the Old
that.
Republic. Been in everything. Batman, Arkham. Yep, you got it. All the
Everything.
any Legos. All the Legos.
Oh god.
Blood of Zeus.
Yeah.
Recently in Blood of Zeus. Star Wars, Bad Batch, everything, every single type of media. Joe, oh, what's his name? Stephen King's son, who goes by a different name of Boone King.
Oh
Joe
my god.
did this like really broad, hilarious post where he's like, I don't think there's an actor alive that has a nerd EGOT where they've done, we talk about the EGOT, and I don't think there's an actor alive that's done like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, like I don't know. They named all these franchises, and I was like, well, I can think of one, and they did my audiobook. So.
Yeah, she did them all.
She did.
And
Also,
still is.
I will tell you, of all of the types of media that she's done, she doesn't do audiobooks ever. Like ever.
That's about
Like I think like the only other audiobook she did, I think there might have been an appearance in one other one, but the only like big major release that she did was Christopher Paolini's book.
And you know what? I've been waiting to see if someone in the chat would guess it.
Did somebody?
Someone did. Yoli Spinner.
Congrats.
Was it Jennifer Hale? Question mark.
Jennifer Hale is doing Verity, Vox, and the Curse of Foxfire.
Woo! Let me just go ahead and say right now.
Meryl Streep of the voice acting world, according to I think Vanity Fair or something. I don't know. I have not gotten to hear any. This has been. You have no idea how locked down this production has been. I have not had, and I've got no snippets, no anything. I just yesterday approved the intro and outro music. And when they sent me the audio samples, I got to hear her say the title and the end credits, which, by the way, the end credits are amazing because she's like, no part of this is available to be used for AI, to train AI, or it's very, very anti. I was like, yes! I'm so glad that made it in. Yes. So I did get to hear a little bit, and just hearing her say the name gave me chills. I had to stop. I was at lunch. I stopped. I made everybody shut up. I was like, we're going to play this, and we're going to play this. It was like a 50-second clip because it's mostly just the music and then her saying like the titles and yada yada. I think that 50-second clip went on for 30 minutes. I just could not stop listening to this. I was like, I don't know what my life is. I don't know how I got this to happen. It got because she and I were talking, and she had done my show a couple of years ago, and we'd just been connected, and she's the sweetest human being on the planet. Very, very generous.
Oh no, she's an angel. She's a freaking angel.
Absolute angel. Yeah. I think she's played a few of them. So
yeah, actually, I don't care what anyone says. She's my Commander Shepard. I don't. I look. When I play Mass Effect, Fem Shep is the only Shep that I recognize, and it is largely because of her. When I hear like so there's only one other voice actor. There's only one other voice actor in the business, who to me is as iconic, and just like with that voice actor, I can pick Jennifer Hale out of a crowd. Every time I hear her voice, I'm like, no, they didn't just get Jennifer Hale up in here. I was like, okay, we're in. We're in. This is like that.
I had a very small group of people that normally people audition, but I am very lucky in that I've got friends, and I kind of just put those friends on notice. I was like, okay, there's gonna be an audiobook and da 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 da. They're gonna have me audition people, but instead, I think I just want to like propose a name instead. And when Jen said that she was gonna do it, I was like, well, that's gonna be the one. And I'm gonna tell you, whoever gets this audiobook better if they even think of saying no, they're going, I'm gonna walk. So yeah. Of course, then I told them who it was, and they were like, holy shit.
That's such a well, and I can already hear it. I can already hear it in my head. I can hear the audiobook in my head already. Just because of how iconic her voice is.
Yeah.
And
gosh, I'm just sitting here like looking through her massive IMDb.
Huge.
World of Warcraft. She was in Lilith in Midnight Suns.
Yes.
Overwatch, of course.
Oh my god. She is
Curious George. She's been in Curious George.
Look, when I tell y'all
like everything, DuckTales, everything.
She is literally
everything.
Like I'm telling you, name a franchise. Like
there is no property on the planet, I think, that she hasn't touched in some way.
It's easier to tell what has she not done? Like that, like it would be, the list would be shorter if you told me
Rick and Morty.
She hasn't. But like, and honestly, I'm shocked. Like she is one of those people that, like, she is the Jeffrey Combs of voice acting. Like, it's like I would not be shocked if, like, if it's somewhere down the road I bump into somebody, just on the street, apropos of nothing, and come to find out they just unzip their body and out pops Jennifer Hale. I wouldn't be shocked.
It's Jennifer Hale. Hi. It's me, Jennifer Hale. Like, she's got that. Gosh, dang it, that voice.
She just
really so smooth. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's sultry. I'm so excited.
It's a.
But she can do anything. When I haven't gotten to hear, and they're not, I think I get to hear like 5 minutes before the world gets to hear. I'm excited to hear her voice for Earl and the Mountain. I'm so excited to hear her do the voice for Earl and the voice for the Mountain. I'm so excited for that. I can't even, listen, this is cool. This is a lifelong dream. This is great. This is my debut novel. I'm very proud of it. I love it. And this is a very cool thing to hold in my hand. My agent and I, like all of my friends, I'm like, I think I am more excited for the audiobook than I am anything. I'm just like, and then what I can't wait for is that moment where we leave here, we're getting in the car, leaving here, and driving to West Virginia, like driving to where the story is happening. And like, as the cornfields become mountains, the story just starts like inviting you into the world of Foxfire. And then you're in the place where the story is set. And I cannot wait for that road trip. I cannot wait for that road trip in August. I am so excited.
See, you just said it.
Yeah.
You just start saying it, and I'm going to tell you what happened. You just kind of transported me. Like, I don't know what kind of spellcraftery you
Thank
just
you
worked
so
on
much.
me.
Yes. Yeah.
But as you were saying it, I was literally just kind of in my head. I kind of started hearing like somebody just like kind of strumming like some notes on like a guitar.
You are going to lose your shit when you hear the music, because like I gave extensive notes for everything. I don't know if you saw the post where like I did a breakdown of like the book cover and how much work went into the book cover. Like the hills. Like
Mhm.
this is a photo that I took. That
What?
was, yeah. I actually own this broom here.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
these are nightjar. Like it's yeah.
What?
That's yeah. I've got the
Dude.
broom in the other room. It's yeah. So I gave extensive notes. Like the color of the text is
Yeah.
Foxfire. People may not know Foxfire is a real thing, and it's actually really, really tied to Appalachia. There's a whole book series called the Foxfire. Foxfire. It's just called Foxfire. But the Foxfire books, where like Appalachian history and stuff has been gathered in like Appalachian
Yeah.
folklore and history and all of that. But Foxfire itself is a kind of fungus that grows in dead things, and usually like dead wood, and it glows in the dark. And this is the color that
That's
it glows.
that is dude. Okay. So, yeah, this
Yeah, these are not just birds, they're night jars. So, anyways, I gave very,
that's
very, very extensive notes for the cover. Yeah, these are the night jars, which play a big role in the book.
yes,
Um,
they do.
they do. So, and in
That is
fact,
awesome.
the title, the name Verity Vox itself has this like thread-like quality to
Hmm.
it that is indicative of Earl and the ties, the deals that are made, the strings that are pulled in those deals. But there's also like a sheet music quality to it, which also kind of references
Yes.
Verity's magic. Anyways, so
Also, I
anyways,
love
I get very extensive.
alliteration, so
Yep.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
I
Well,
mean,
Verity
just
Vox, True
fine.
Voice, Tacititary, Silently Waiting. So some of these names have meaning, the names that didn't come from a family. So, anyways, I gave very, very, very extensive notes on the music, and I was like, okay, so you know the prologue to The Beauty and the Beast, where like we're coming into the world,
Hmm.
and there's that beautiful music, and we're hearing about this prince and this rejected, old woman, and then da 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 da. I was like, imagine that, but played with a banjo. Um,
Yes, that's what I'm hearing. Just
yeah, so
look.
imagine like that beautiful fantasy music, but it's played with this like banjo or this guitar. Like I want this to feel like you are being invited onto a front porch by a town elder and told a story about how the town came to be 100 years ago.
Okay, that's
Which is also why the book is told like there is a narrator, but it's a very voicey narrator.
right.
And in my head, I don't call them the narrator. I call them
Mhm.
the storyteller because
Mhm.
many times, often, the storyteller is talking to you, the reader.
Right.
It's not told in second person, which would be a true, like, the story is happening to you, but sometimes the
Mhm.
narrator will break the fourth wall and just reference you directly. And, oh, you've seen, da da da. Oh, you
Yeah.
probably remember when, and da 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 da. Um, and so I wanted this to feel like an invitation to sit down on a front porch, grab that glass of tea, and hear a story. And they delivered. They delivered. That music is so good.
It's I don't know
It is so
why.
good. I'll have to maybe I'll find a way to send it to you.
Yeah,
Maybe.
look, I will tell you this. I
I
don't.
don't I don't want little red dots to appear on my
No, no,
face
no, no. I
again.
don't.
So
I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want either one of us to like be under like the red dot sight of a sniper
listen,
somewhere.
Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, those are not people that I want to mess with.
No,
I'm
no.
terrified of all of those lawyers. I'm terrified of them. I don't know how. I don't know how. What God? I don't know which kitten I saved in a past life to get Jennifer Hale to do my audiobook, but um,
Whatever
I
you
don't
did,
want to
do it
piss that
again.
God off. Yeah, I don't want. Well, I'm hoping to do it two more times.
Yeah.
So we just gotta hope. We gotta hope. So in book one we do gay rights, but in book two we're doing some gay wrongs.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
and then in book three, I'm adapting yet another bit of West Virginia history, in another bit of kind of overlooked stuff. The Battle of Blair Mountain. You don't know what that is, but it is the
No.
bloodiest. It is the bloodiest battle that happened on American soil outside of the Civil War, and nobody seems to know about it. But it took place in the town where I was born.
Okay, so look, here's what I need. First, I just want to say because now I'm the whole time I've literally had banjo music playing.
I was going to
in
say,
my head.
we do have a lot of blood and death coming, I promise.
Yeah. I have been hearing for one, I now know what song I've been hearing in my head this whole time. Since you mentioned that intro, I've literally just been hearing over and over and over again, for whatever reason, the intro to Poker Face. The like the little dun, 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 like whatever the song plays whenever she's in the car. But like I just been hearing that the whole time, but imagining Verity just like on the broomstick with Jack just kind of chilling, on the back, just like and flying down.
I can't wait for y'all to see the Jack merch.
Oh God! Wait a minute. Please tell
merch.
me.
There's so much merch coming.
Please tell me.
I have spent all of my money. I have no more money. Please buy my book, because I spent all of my book money on merch for the book. So please buy my book. So I am now poor.
Look, all I'm asking is for a Jack plushie, because I'm allergic to cats.
I don't have a plushie yet, but I do have. Listen, I only have so much money. And so many strings I can pull.
No. See, what you do is y'all go buy the book.
Yes.
So he can have more book money, and we can get plushes.
Yeah, no, but everybody's told me the first round of beta readers, before this went into developmental edits, like I had like 5 or 6 people read the book, and they were like, every single one of them, you need to be prepared for Jack tattoos. People are going to be obsessed with this familiar. They're going to be obsessed with this character in a deep, deep way. I can't wait for you all to meet Jack. Jack is a badass.
Jack is amazing.
I love Jack so much.
Probably the best cat.
Yeah, cat who is not a cat.
Really,
a cat who is not a cat. Yeah. He's a cat who is not a cat. He's one of the only beings in the book that makes Earl flinch, and I just love him so goddamn much. He's just so great.
And I think that might be what it is. It played on my self-hatred, because I hate that I love cats, but I'm allergic to them. So let
me just go ahead and tell you, because I know you wouldn't be allergic to Jack.
See, this is why it makes me mad.
Yeah.
That I want one.
I can't wait until you get to meet the rest of the coven in future books, because I have other familiars coming that I think you're going to be equally obsessed with.
So this is why I want to say it again. Book.
There's an ebook, whatever format you want. Ebook, audiobook, hardcover, it's all there.
Yes.
So I will say, I'm so excited. I've already pre-ordered with my own money through LibroFM, the audiobook, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get, I don't know when I'm going to get it. I don't know if I'm going to get it late. I don't know I don't know which. No, I know, but like they get me the audiobook, but they get it. I mean, sometimes they'll get it to an author like on pub date, or a week before or something. And I start promo, I'm doing promo now, but I start doing stuff a couple weeks before, and then August hits, and then I'm just gone for a couple of months. Yeah. So I was like, I just need to make sure that I have it on pub date. So I bought my own book.
I know. Look, full disclosure, I have this, and I'm also going to get it because I love audiobooks.
So excited for this. I will tell you something else. I do want to shout out a friend of mine, a fellow author. There's Ryan LaSala's book, The Honeys. Mm-hmm. If you like audiobooks, I listened to that when I was working in the barn a couple of years ago when the book came out. And I one of the extensive notes that I gave to my team was, I need you to do for this book what they did for that book, because there's these they did this fully immersive audio experience at times where there's this time it's like this horror novel, and there's times when they're running through the woods and you can hear the steps of the people crunching through the those dried pine needles and stuff, and you could hear the voices calling one another in the distance as the narrators talk. It's really, really, really immersive. So I have no idea what will make it into my book, because again, the author is very much not involved.
Right.
But I'm kind of hoping that we get some of that. I'm thinking of so many scenes, especially in the woods, especially with some of those confrontations with Earl, especially. I can't wait to hear what they do with the mountain. I cannot wait to
That's
hear. I cannot wait to hear. I'm so excited, but I'm excited for all formats of it. I'm really, really, really proud of it. And I'm so glad that you liked it.
yes. No, I it's better than. I loved it. It's like, look, I am just gonna say that if for whatever
And
reason,
if you like singing witch, listen, if you like
yeah.
Winifred Sanderson, if you like Agatha, if you like Elphaba, I've got a singing witch for
Oh,
you. I
yeah.
have a
This
singing
is
witch.
look. If you like to be a little wicked, okay, okay, you can get jiggy with this, okay.
I do
I'm
this fun thing. I do this fun thing with some friends, and we're going to turn this into a giveaway in August. I haven't told anybody that yet. So you're getting a lot of exclusives.
I'll take
We're
it.
going to do a
I'll take
singing
it.
contest. But I like to do
Yes.
this fun thing where, like, if this book took place in the modern day, like, what songs would Verity, like, what would happen if Verity sang certain songs? And I like to think, like, if Verity ever just wanted to have her own Dark Phoenix moment, she would sing Rap God by Eminem
Yeah.
and just like crack the world in half or something. I'm just like, I just feel like that would be like, I just love that.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
The whole time that yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about like modern, like modern songs and what people could do
Oh, yeah.
with this
Yeah.
like with a character like
Could
I'm
you imagine if Kelly Clarkson had this power?
oh my god dude that first off I would be scared just because
I'd be
I would
so terrified of Kelly Clarkson
I would
if when she like she already has a magical singing voice.
yeah I was like I honestly
It
don't
already ends other singers' careers. So
yeah I
I'm
would say I don't see I'm scared because I don't want to be like is it gonna be like one of those things where like you what was it I was watching is it gonna be like the Bondsman where I hear the singing and my head just explodes?
I haven't seen that yet. Is it good?
I love it. It's
I haven't seen it yet. But I
it's
also but I did like it felt similar, like spiritually similar to Preacher. Which I
okay.
liked until I don't know, I feel like that one jumped the shark at some point. I don't remember when. But those first couple of seasons were great, I remember.
It kind of
But
like
Bondsman felt like it was in that world.
yeah, it's the best thing I can describe the best thing I can probably compare it to. It's like a little bit of Preacher, but almost more with the tone of yeah, that's it. Similar setup to Preacher, but tonally more like Ash versus the Evil Dead.
So like Odd Thomas,
Like it's like it's serious, but there's
which I
also a lot
loved.
of
And
levity.
that guy, I felt oh
Yeah.
man, we were robbed of so many performances. Oh man, that guy died too young.
Yeah,
That
and in
freaking
the craziest way humanly possible. Like I was like, dude,
listen, that's some Final
how?
Destination stuff. That is some
Yeah,
Final Destination stuff.
like
Oh man,
it's like yeah, it just that literally some
terrible.
of the best movies
So
and things
good.
came out like like it was his last between
Yeah.
like Odd Thomas and like The Green Room,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, why do we live in this timeline?
Yeah.
Like who
This
put us
timeline
here?
sucks.
Who put us
This
here?
timeline sucks, man.
But you know what? What makes it better is that y'all go buy this book, and
Yeah.
you're not gonna just buy. Yeah, okay. Look, I'm gonna make a statement here. I'm also gonna encourage you all to maybe go check out some other stuff because I have links to other things that Don has written. The socials.
Oh yeah.
There's
I have lots of books.
there's books. As a matter of fact, I have a
And I
link.
also have a podcast. It's also
Yes.
you're already here on YouTube. It's called Head on Fire. So we just
Yes.
relaunched. I have Nadira Goff on. We talk about like the 10th Kingdom and a lot of real nerdy stuff. She's a staff writer for Slate, and we talk about culture and culture journalism and kind of this weird moment of rehashing of IP and endless nostalgia bait and this world of prequels and sequels that we seem to be living in. So that's over on my channel. So thanks so much.
I highly advise go check it out because it's a really fun, awesome podcast. I'm also going to tell you, please don't walk, run over to Instagram and Threads.
Oh yeah, I'm there too.
Follow Don over there because, well, for one, I'm look, I'm a messy motherfucker. I just love seeing people get red for filth. So yeah, you'll get to see a lot of that. You'll also
listen, like Verity, like Verity. I know my own strength, and so I try very hard to use it for good.
You do.
I do.
Like it's a like I.
It doesn't mean it isn't fun.
Oh no, it is hilarious because there have been some times I've seen some people like, ooh, yeah, you about to get lit up. You don't know who you talking to. You.
I do keep telling people, I'm like, why do you think I'm the one? Like, why? Don't people warn you about? Aren't I like the boogeyman somewhere? Like, don't they have photos of me up? Like, I'm not the one. I'm not the two. I'm not the three. Like, I will hurt you. Like my dad always said, had this joke where he's like, Don's superpower is you will be in a conversation with Don and you're going to be laughing because he's really fun. And y'all are both going to be laughing and you're going to have a really good time. And, everybody's going to be laughing and smiling and ha, 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 ha. And then y'all are going to leave and you're going to go home and time is going to pass. And a couple of hours later, you're going to realize, oh God. And he's like, you realize that like you got cut lower than you've ever been cut before. And you said, thank you in front of people. And they all knew what was happening, and you were the only one that didn't because you laughed the whole time.
You suddenly okay, so you have now become the real life version of this one character in Duster. Like,
oh, what's Duster?
It's oh my god, it's so. Oh my god. Okay.
2025 thriller.
It just came out.
Josh Holloway is still working?
Josh Holloway plays this courier,
good for him,
getaway driver guy. It's like it takes place in the 70s, I think.
Good for him. Keith David. Okay.
But there's a character in it, and I can't remember. He's a character actor. Like, he's just a dude always seeing random stuff. But like, there's this one guy who like his whole thing is he beats people up for like not doing what Keith David's character wants them to do. And there's this part where he goes to this guy's house, he walks in, and he beats the shit out of this guy. and when he comes out, the guy who he beat up follows him out. And it's very obvious he's beat this man with a baseball bat. And the guy that got beat up is literally thanking. It's like thanking the guy who beat him up. He's like, man, thank you so much. Oh man, this is so great of you. I love you. Thank you. I was like, you are the real life version of that.
Because all the witches in my book have very special, unique ways of using magic. Some will bind up the wind with knots, and some will heal the sick with, their apron strings, and people can light candles to teleport across great distances, and some can sing the dead back to life. I will cut you down to the quick, and you will laugh and say thank you. It's my favorite. It's my own superpower. Everybody has their own unique magic, and that is mine. I'm so sorry. And
I'm gonna say that's your. I would say you are Omega level in that regard.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We could have a whole different conversation about how there's too many Omega level mutants. I have so many thoughts about Bobby Drake. So many thoughts about Iceman. That's a whole different time, and I don't think I'm allowed to have those thoughts during Pride Month.
You know what?
I'm homophobic specifically about Bobby Drake. I'm so upset with that. I'm so sorry. That's a whole different tangent.
Idea. You gave me an idea.
Bobby.
You gave me an idea about something maybe we can talk about.
Yes.
When because I know spoiler alert. I'm gonna can't really spoil that. But no, spoiler alert. I think I have an idea of something that we can chit chat about
Yes.
on Head on Fire.
Yes.
Because
yes.
and it
I'm excited.
specifically pertains to Bobby Drake.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about like superheroes and what the place is and culture. And I'm excited to have you on. We're gonna have to. I can't wait to schedule that. I'm very excited.
It's gonna be fantastic. Just yes. This is why I keep telling y'all, man. Go do. Just click the damn buttons, okay?
Yes, please.
Go click the buttons.
Please, because I have this puppy, you see, and I spent all of my money on. I'll tell you. So we're designing. I have a whole. We have a line of pins coming. There's 9 of them, but one of the first 3 is Jack's name in the book. His government name is Jack Be Nimble. That goes back to a lot of like Jacks in folklore. Anyways. We've got a Jack B spinner pin that actually spins around so that you can pick which form Jack is in at any given time. So sometimes it's funny. I love it so much. We've got a triptych where Jack is different animals at different times. Jack changes shape into different animals. Sometimes he's the cow. In the background of one of the pins, he's the cow. I love when he's the cow. It's so great. I'm so sorry.
No, this is great. I'm totally here for this. And I think that if it doesn't, if it hasn't been said enough, I don't know if anyone has said this, but I think that everything that you have done in this, it is so thoughtful.
Nice, I'll cry.
No. I will let me put on my world famous dad voice, so that I can I'm gonna try and figure out a way to say
voice. Daddy voice. Hi.
I'm gonna try.
Hey guys.
Can I find a way to say it in the dad voice where it doesn't sound as like it doesn't sound as praiseworthy? Like, I don't. Apparently, I have that voice sometimes by accident.
Me too. I have fun voices too sometimes.
See, that's Zaddy voice right there. That's
Sorry about that.
But no, you put together what I think is a really thoughtful piece of literature that just the everything down from the characters to the setting, to really, just I don't know. I think that
Thanks.
I could see a world, this one, hopefully, where where like I could get to see people like saying, "Hey, I want to cosplay as Verity. I want to be."
One of the reasons why I did spend so much time and energy and money trying to get all of this like character art and merch and stuff isn't to personally enrich myself, mostly because, like I said, I spent all of my money on this, so it's not personally enriching at this point.
Books cost money,
but it's mostly trying to give people a permission structure to step away from stuff like Harry Potter.
Yes.
And to give people a world that they can step into, because a lot of people don't want to step away from that nostalgia that they have and all of that, and they want to just they understand gosh, this supports a problematic person and yada yada yada, but I just want to give them a home in Foxfire that feels fully realized, and a fully realized fandom and a fully realized world. And who's your favorite character? I've got a shirt for you. Who's your favorite character? I've got a pin for you. Who's your favorite character? Maybe we'll get some plushies. Who's your, like there's brooms and hats and all sorts of stuff coming. And I just wanted to give people that, not only because I want them to love the book, but I also wanted them to give a permission structure to step away and to feel like there is a place that will catch you. So I hope that Foxfire is that for people.
And I will say it was that for, I feel like it's that. I feel like it is because, and also I want to put a little extra bit of flourish on there, just that I feel like it does that. And it's probably one of the few things I've ever read that has done that without being derivative of that, like, you know, because I think that's kind of the main problem a lot of people kind of stumble into is that, oh well, yeah, they kind of go into bender mode. I'm gonna make my own Harry Potter with blackjack and hookers, and it's like, well, then and it just winds up just being another Harry Potter. I feel like Verity
it's too similar to Harry Potter for you to say, well,
yeah,
Harry Potter did this better, or I just liked Harry. Why don't I just go back? So I wanted to give just a different world, and I wanted to work really, really hard to earn that. And again,
yeah,
I'm not saying like, you know, I want all this money or whatever. I just want people to be able to feel like there are other stories you can read and other worlds that you can explore. And mine is just one of many. There are so many other brilliant writers out there. There's Danielle Clayton writing The Marvelers, and there's Claribel Ortega writing Witchlings, and there's, you know, Foxfire, and there's all sorts of other authors out there who have these worlds for people to explore. And I just feel like sometimes they don't get a chance. So I'm hoping that mine can be a stepping stone for you.
Well,
thank you.
I think you accomplished. I mean, yeah, it's not officially out yet, but I'm just gonna say
we're oh man, we're getting there finally.
Yeah, it's not far. We're
less than 2 months.
Yeah. Month and some change.
I will tell you, June is the last month where you won't be able to buy it. There is an opportunity to buy it in July at the Young Adult Midwest Book Conference happening here in Chicago, just outside Chicago. It's put on by Anderson's Books. I'm going to be a keynote with Samira Ahmed, who you might know was a writer for Ms. Marvel.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about her new book, The Secret Life of Arya Patel. I don't think I got that right. Not The Secret Life. The Arya Patel. The Singular Life of Arya Patel by Samira Ahmed. Yep. So we're doing the keynote together, and you know, they will have Verity Vox and the Curse of Foxfire there, and that's on July 26th. So there will be an opportunity in July to buy it at the book conference. So yeah, this is the last month where it is not on sale anywhere. I'm very excited.
I mean, it's I'll like, this is, I think, going to be a fun read for a lot of people. It was a fun read for me. I'm pretty positive that it'll be a fun read for my kid. Whether like
you have to tell me what they think.
Oh,
I'm
I will.
Really, really excited for this to get into kids' hands. Like, I love adults. Yay, adults. I'm so glad, you know, like critics have been really nice about it. I've gotten some starred reviews, and they've been super nice about it. And, you know, critics are raving, and that's so cool. And other adults have said very nice things. And I've got all these quotes from these very famous authors that have said very nice things about it. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is what that 12-year-old kid who, you know, looks at the horizon on their own small town and feels like their life is bigger than their, you know, city limits. I just want them to read it, and I want this to be for them. And I'm so excited for them to have this world, because I want to give kids the same experience that I had when I was that age and I picked up The Dark is Rising by Susan Cooper, or The Lost Years of Merlin, or Animorphs by Catherine Applegate, or any of those kinds of books. That's the experience that I hope to give to kids. So yeah, I'm really hoping. So thank you so much for having me on.
No, thank you for
and we get to do this again soon.
Yes,
and then I get to ask you questions.
And I'll probably just be a mess of emotions and a ball of just be like, oh gosh, because that's usually how I am. It's easier for me to do this part of it because I don't have to. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's not on me. I was like, oh, you want to talk about me? Why? But no, thank you so much for the time. And everybody else, once again, like I said, we're, you know, like I said, links down below. Do the thing. Do the YouTube stuff. Go follow Don. Go follow me if you haven't done so already. Buy books.
Like, rate, subscribe.
Yes. All
ring that bell.
Yeah. There's a. I don't know. I'll just say this. Click.
I know how to do
all
this.
the buttons. Click all the buttons.
Just click all the buttons. Like, rate, subscribe. Leave a comment.
Leave a comment, and if it's mean, that's okay, because I'm not going to read it anyway. Good night, everybody.